It's time for our next big adventure.
We are driving the Pacific Coast Highway, starting in Malibu and making our way north.
So join us as we explore the beautiful coastline of California on this epic road trip.
Good morning and welcome to another beautiful day here on the Pacific Coast Highway. We have left Santa Cruz and we are working our way north towards San Francisco.
But on our drive today, we noticed this beautiful lighthouse kind of jutting out of the landscape, so we decided to stop and take a look.
This place is called the Pigeon Point Light Station, and it is a California historic park, and it was originally called Whale Point, and the name was changed to Pigeon Point back in 1853 when there was a shipwreck here of the carrier Pigeon.
That's a weird name for a ship, the carrier Pigeon.
It is. There were lots of shipwrecks in history. This lighthouse actually wasn't put here until several years later in 1872.
This is all the ships that met their fate here. And this is a piece of the shipwreck from the Point Arena in 1913 when it ran aground here. This lighthouse is currently under restoration. You can't go inside of it, but you can stay next to it. They actually have a hostel here. If you plan well in advance, you can snag a room in the hostel for the night. The lighthouse is really cool, but we're getting kind of hungry. So, Sandy, I'm gonna take you to a little quaint taco shop on the beach.
I like quaint, I like taco shops, and I like beach.
All right, let's go. Okay, so yes, this is the Taco Bell. However, it is quaint, it is on the beach, and
It's a taco shop.
It's a taco shop. It has been deemed the most beautiful Taco Bell in the world. And I can see why. They serve alcoholic drinks here if that's your pleasure. The regular Taco Bell fare has a pretty large, spacious, beautiful dining room. But if you want a beachfront view, you can always sit outside and watch the waves as you gobble down your Doritos Locos taco. So how is it? Is it the best Taco Bell you've ever had?
Maybe it is. You know, so like there are a lot of people that come to this Taco Bell, so it is super, super fresh. Probably one of the freshest tasting Taco Bells I've been to. And you can't beat the view, so it may be my favorite Taco Bell ever. We made it to San Francisco.
And there is the Golden Gate Bridge. Holy cow, this thing's impressive.
It's absolutely beautiful. Like the color of her, that like rusty reddish orange just really, really stands out against like the green of the mountains and the blue of the water. It's really, really pretty.
And we got lucky because it's not foggy at all today and you can see the entire bridge. I hear more times often than not when you get here, it's difficult to see the bridge because of the fog, if you can see it at all.
So one warning for this area here, we are currently parked at what's called East Battery. It's right down from the visitor center, so you can walk to the visitor center from here. Just be very careful with your belongings. Apparently it's a very, very high break-in area. You can see glass just kind of scattered all about the parking lot. So just be mindful of that when you're here.
This place is called the East Battery because there used to be an old artillery battery here that would pretty much protect San Francisco Harbor from getting attacked by enemy ships. The fort is long since gone and it's actually buried now. So they're still trying to restore like some of the earthworks that kind of overlooked the bay. Now it's time to drive across this big, scary bridge,
which is going to be so much fun. So Jed hates heights, and I'm not like the biggest fan of water that I can't see to the bottom of, or I know how deep it is. I don't know, that's weird.
Oh, don't worry, this is super deep.
I'm sure it is, but if you've ever seen us cross a bridge before, it's not a pretty thing. We both get a little nervous. Jed gets nervous because of the heights, and I get nervous because of the water. And if it's a windy day, it's even worse. Thankfully, right now, it's not super windy. That is a bonus. That is a bonus. Unless the winds just start going crazy right as we drive onto the bridge.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that? All right, let's get across this bridge. Even the cat's nervous. Okay, so we survived our trip across the bridge. We are now at Vista Point, which is just on the other side of the bridge. It's actually free parking here.
So the Golden Gate Bridge spans what is known as the Golden Gate, which is where the San Francisco Bay dumps into the Pacific Ocean. The bridge construction started back in 1933, but they didn't complete the bridge until 1937. During that time period in 1935, there was actually an earthquake, and people who were working on the bridge said that they were on top and it swayed 16 feet in either direction. The bridge is a total of 1.7 miles long and it's about 90 feet wide. And from what I read, the orange color of it wasn't the original plan. So the United States Navy, go Navy, actually wanted the bridge to be painted in blue and gold stripes, Navy colors. But once architects received the steel, it came in this orange color, and they thought, well, this is just as easy to see as the blue and the yellow would be able to see in like the fog and stuff here, but it's a much more appealing color. It is that burnt orange color.
This statue behind me, if you've ever served in the Navy, it's iconic. It brings back a lot of old memories. This is dedicated to all the men and women, seafarers that have passed by the Golden Gate Bridge, and it kind of gives you that sense of, you know, being alone at sea, even though he has his hands in his pockets, which back in the day, you know, we weren't allowed to do. But you know what? Lone sailor, he can do that. A little bit past the exit for the Vista Point is another exit. If you take that, you'll end up in Fort Baker. You can get a really nice kind of down below view of the Golden Gate Bridge. It also bears mentioning here, they talk about the construction of what's called a suicide net. It's being installed to prevent exactly what it says. Apparently there are a lot of suicides. I did read in one source that it said this is the #1 place for people to commit suicide in the United States. They have suicide prevention resources and hotlines that you can call pretty much all along the entire bridge. So if you are dealing with mental health issues, it's something kind of near and dear to us, please reach out. We care about you, we care about our friends, so if you need help, please get help. So the Golden Gate Bridge is the extent of what we're doing in San Francisco this time around. Hopefully we'll have plans for San Francisco later on in the year, but for now we're going to continue north. Welcome to the Point Reyes National Seashore.
We have left the San Francisco area and headed further north on the 1, and we decided to take this little drive out here because we've heard it's absolutely beautiful and it is not disappointing so far.
No, it's a really scenic drive, and it's unlike anything I've ever seen in California thus far.
There are lots of green rolling hills, and then you get the peaks of the shoreline, and you can just see the coast here. It like just stretches way out, and it's beautiful. But the reason we came out here was to check out some of the local stuff here, including the Point Reyes Lighthouse.
We're walking to the lighthouse, and we see at least half a dozen of these deer, like just kind of perched on the sea cliff. It actually makes me kind of nervous. I mean, it's a beautiful spot, but be careful, little guys. Be careful.
The Point Reyes Lighthouse has been out here since 1870, and it's a really good thing that it's here because this area on the Pacific coast is one of the windiest and foggiest areas on this coastline. They said that they can get blankets of fog that last weeks out here.
Luckily, there's no fog. There's plenty of wind today. We've kind of ducked in behind this little shelter to talk to you guys. Unfortunately, the visitor center is closed. The pathway down to the lighthouse itself is also closed.
So apparently it looks like there's a really steep stairway that goes down to the lighthouse itself. So first of all, you walk out along the kind of the cliff and the water. Beautiful, beautiful little trail, beautiful trees out to like a viewing point where you can see the lighthouse down below. They say it's 30 stories down. That would have been a workout.
So you can see whales from up here as well. Someone actually said they saw it. We unfortunately did not.
We saw one on the sign.
We did see one on the sign.
But you know what we did see?
The murre.
Yeah, do you know what a murre is?
They are a cousin of the puffin.
Yeah, they look really cute and it's cool. So apparently right down there on the rocks, right down near the lighthouse, they will lay their eggs and stuff down there, and it's almost that time of the year for them to do that. So yeah, really cool. I didn't even know we had those like here on the coast.
On the next episode of Wonderful Revolution, our Pacific Coast Highway adventure continues.
So be sure to show us a little bit of love by hitting that like button. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss this adventure, and we'll see you next time. Until then, stay wonderful.